Hare Krishna, dear friends, to another episode of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from the 11th canto, 8th chapter, the story of Pingala. Here it is. And we are in the 11th shloka today. Sayani Sayantanam. This is the trick. Sayantanam Shvastanam Va Nasangrihaita Bhikshitam Pani Patro Daramatro Makshikeva Nasangrahi. A saintly person should not think, this food I will keep to eat tonight and the other food I can save for tomorrow. In other words, a saintly person should not store foodstuffs acquired by begging. Rather, he should use his own hands as his plate and eat whatever fits on them. His only storage container should be his belly, and whatever conveniently fits into his belly should be his stock of food. Thus one should not imitate the greedy honeybee who eagerly collects more and more honey. Purport. There are two types of honeybees, those who collect nectar from the flowers and those who actually manufacture honey in the beehive. This verse refers to the second class. The greedy honeybee eventually collects so much honey that he is trapped in his hive, and in the same way a materialistic person becomes trapped under the burden of unnecessary material accumulation. One who is interested in making spiritual progress should avoid such a situation. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness, one may accumulate an unlimited amount of material opulence. This is called Yukta Vairagya, or using everything in the service of Krishna. A saintly person who is unable to work in Lord Chaitanya's mission should practice austerities and collect only what he can hold in his hand and belly. However, one who has given his life to Krishna may collect unlimitedly on Lord Krishna's behalf. In fact, without acquiring material opulence, how is it possible to spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world? But if one tries to personally enjoy the funds or facilities acquired for the missionary activities of the Krishna consciousness movement, he commits the greatest offense. Therefore, even in the name of Lord Krishna, one should collect only what he can immediately engage in practical devotional service. Otherwise, one will fall down to the platform of ordinary greediness. Again, the verse. A saintly person should not think, this food I will keep to eat tonight and the other food I can save for tomorrow. In other words, A saintly person should not store foodstuffs acquired by begging. Rather, he should use his own hands as his plate and eat whatever fits on them. His only storage container should be his belly, and whatever conveniently fits into his belly should be his stock of food. Thus, one should not imitate the greedy honeybee who eagerly collects more and more honey. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, dear friends, today again we have a very interesting verse here. Here the comparison is made of the honeybee, and as we know from the purport, there are two kinds of honeybees. The one honeybee we dealt last time is the honeybee who is flying from flower to flower and practices madhukari, like a monk who is going from house to house and begging for some foodstuff. So here we learn from another bee what not to do. This is again a so-called, I call them a negative guru or anti-guru, a guru from whom we can learn what not to do, what not to do. So here we learn from the second kind of bee. This bee is not flying from flower to flower, but is always in the hive and is, I think, building the hive. And this hive is always filled with lots of honey, and it may happen that this kind of bee is trapped in his own building by all the accumulated honey, and it cannot come out. So this comparison is made that a materialistic person, his tendency is to accumulate more and more and more material stuff. So I think some of you have this experience that we accumulate so many things, we buy this, we buy that, and after a couple of years, when we have to move from one place to the other, we realize how much stuff we have somewhere in the cellar or in some storage room. And I have heard from a friend who has moved recently from one house to another. He has a family, and he wrote me an email that this moving takes so much, is giving him so much headache, because he realizes how much stuff he has. He has so much stuff, and most of this stuff we don't really use. It is just stored somewhere, and we think that maybe one day I will use it. So here in Germany, I don't know if this is also in your countries, but here in Germany we have a special name for people who are keeping everything in their house. Even when they buy something, let's say a yogurt container, after they have eaten up the yogurt, they think, this is a psychological disease, they think, I should not throw away this yogurt container, because maybe later I can put something inside in this yogurt container. So they wash the yogurt container, and then they store it somewhere in their kitchen. And after 1 year or so, they have accumulated, this is no joke, there are really people out there doing this. They have accumulated, let's say, 100 yogurt containers, and they are in one corner there is a huge stock of only yogurt container, and this is only yogurt containers. They have the same thought with so many other things, with plastic bags, or so you name it. So we have a special name here in Germany. We call them Messies. They are a Messie. And after a couple of years or even months or maybe even weeks, their whole flat is like what can we call it? A storehouse of thousands of things, starting with, let's say, yogurt containers, but also, let's say, wheels, car wheels, and boxes, and so you can just let fly your own fantasy. So for these people, it is a real disease. They can even go to the doctor and or to a psychiatrist, and so this is a real acknowledged disease here in Germany. So a devotee shouldn't be careful not to become one of those Messies, because when you become a Messie, you cannot concentrate on the important things of life. A Messie is always, his mind and intelligence is always diverted towards all the stuff he has accumulated, and he cannot really find peace, because he always thinks, maybe I can use this later, let's keep this, or maybe I can use this, no, don't throw this away, we can use it. So this is a person we can compare to this second type of honeybee, who is trapped in his own mess. In his own mess. So on the other hand, now I switch to the second viewpoint. We hear here that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of the great acharyas in our traditions, he has pointed out that we should also not go to the other extreme and throw everything away and think we are very advanced, very austere. So let me just throw everything out and just maybe have only my clothes on my skin and nothing else. This can be the other extreme. There are also people out there trying to renounce everything. They move into the forest. I also know people who have done this. They moved into the forest and they built a hut there out of wood and some wood and other stuff, and they want to be totally renounced. They even have burned their ID card. So this is the other extreme, because actually there are many things out there we can use in Krishna's service. For instance, this book here is out of paper. There is black color involved. Someone has painted very beautiful pictures. So if we had renounced all the color, all the paper, all the machines to produce this book, then we could not read the Srimad Bhagavatam today. So, or let's take this watch here. I could throw them away, thinking let's become very renounced, but then it's very hard for me to organize my day in Krishna consciousness. So, for instance, I want to invite people for a program, but I don't know when they will come and how to invite them and give them a certain time to appear here. And I cannot really cook a normal preparation, a dish, without a watch. So that is the other lesson we can take here from this purport. And there is also a verse by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anasaktasya Vishayan Yathaham Upayunjataha Nirbanda Krishna Sambande Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. That one can use all the material things in Krishna's service. This is called Yukta Vairagya. One is using it not for one's personal enjoyment, but using it for the pleasure of Krishna or for the spreading of Krishna consciousness. And then in the second verse it is said, Prapanchi Kataya Budya Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha Mumukshubi Parityago Vairagyam Palgum Katyate. There it is said that a person who is renouncing everything, not knowing that this all could be used brilliantly in Krishna's service, he is practicing Phalgu Vairagya, artificial false renunciation. So that is what we can learn here from this verse and from the purport. One could say many more things. Are there some questions? I will just check out some questions or comments. Vasuraj Subedi, Haribol. So tomorrow we will continue, and I will give you again a short teaser what awaits you hopefully tomorrow. In the 12th shloka it is said, one second, a saintly mendicant should not even collect foodstuffs to eat later in the same day or the next day. If he disregards this injunction and like the honeybee collects more and more delicious foodstuffs, that which he has collected will indeed ruin him. So it will be further described what happens. So, but this we will hear tomorrow, and thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.